Okay, now we are going to test for leaks. Make sure your pressure is up. Release your brakes. Once your brakes are released, begin to pump the brake pedal to get the low air warning to come on. If that alarm does not come on, then you are out of service. Okay? Next, hold the brake pedal in. Make sure that the truck is building up enough pressure to turn the alarm off. This shouldn't take more than 15 seconds. Once you get to 15 seconds and the alarms have not shut off, then that means you more than likely have a leak. Or if the gauges are moving down, you definitely have a leak. That would be an air loss rate problem. In this case, we are not building up enough pressure to turn off the alarm. It should have went off by now. So there's a problem in our brake system that we'll have to check out. Our next test is going to be the tractor protection valve. This is a tractor protection valve here. These two valves are set to engage your emergency brakes if you ever have a major pressure loss. Your gauges, once they get down between 40 and 20, these buttons should pop. Always the red before the yellow or at the same time. We're going to start testing by decreasing the air rate by pressing the brake pedal rapidly. All right, now we're going to perform our brakes inspection from the outside. The first thing we need to do is release both brakes. After both brakes are released, I want you to check your gauges and note where your air pressures are at. Okay, so we are looking at the front brake. Now this brake can be pretty much inspected from above, but as long as you have the room to get in there. We need to get in and look at the drum, look at the clevis pins, make sure both are here and that the cotter pins are present. We are going to check our adjustment by taking a business card and sliding it in between the pad and the drum. It's a nice snug fit. As long as it's a snug fit, we should be okay. We just want to take and make sure that is a snug fit all the way around. We're not mechanics. The more mechanical knowledge we have, the better. But what we're doing is we're looking to see if the brake is backed off of the drum, which would tell us that our slack adjuster is probably not working and we're out of adjustment. Okay? So I'm also going to look at the condition of my hoses. Alright, are they secure? Is there any chafing? And we're going to go back and do the rears. Now we are going to check the rears. So again, I don't need a bunch of tools. I have something to tap with, and I have a piece of cardboard so I don't get filthy. All right, do the card test. And we want to make sure when we put the card in between the drum and the pad, it's a nice snug fit. We have to check our fronts. Now here, while I'm down here, I'm just going to tap my airbags, make sure they are inflated. I'm listening for leaks. Scoop myself up towards the front brake. And again, I'm going to look at the U-bolts. I'm going to look at the pad thickness. I'm going to do the card test. And I'm going to make sure that everything is in order. No missing nuts. Go up, look at my slack adjusters. Make sure they're connected. That there's no problems. Cotter pin is present. So, a little hard to see it here, but right there's that cotter pin. It's in there, we're good. I'm gonna go over to the other side. And we're gonna check the same thing. Okay, I'm on the other side. I'm gonna check my U-bolts. Make sure everything is tightened up. I'm gonna do my card test. Oh, that one's nice and tight. Gonna check my slack adjuster. Make sure the cotter pin is there, the pin is in. Again, I'm looking while I'm under here, I'm gonna look at my airbags. Make sure there's no leaking. Another thing I want to check are all my hoses, all the connections. Make sure that each hose is secured. It's not rubbing up against anything. Same on the fronts. Check my hoses. They're secured, they're not rubbing up against each other, and we're good. Okay, now we're going to check the trailer. First thing I'm going to look at are my lines. Are they secured from each other? Are they connected to my spring? Everything looks good. No rubbing. Now we'll go ahead and get on the brakes. Everything here is the same as on the trailer or tractor. Check my hoses. Are they secured? If you have a situation like this where they're rubbing, you need to address that. It can be done simply by moving a bracket. But if I don't address this, I'm going to end up with chafing. Here again, see where the hoses are touching? That can't happen. Sometimes you may have to buy a new bracket just to avoid that happening. But look there, you see that? Right there, that's a 4-point violation. I can feel it. So we'll have to get that taken care of. We'll go back here. We check everything again. Do we have space in between? That's very important. We'll look at those hoses. Those are set up good. There's no touching. Now I'm going to look at my brakes. I'm going to do my card test on each brake. That's good. Nice and Nice and snug. Brake condition. On these ones, you have a little lip right here. That is your wear indicator. Once that lip's gone, you have to replace your pads. Check your airbags. Are they inflated? I'm also listening for leaks while I'm here. Now, let's show you a brake that's out of adjustment. Looky here. You see the gap? What happens when I put the card in there? It's loose. See how big that gap is? Now, I don't have to measure the brake to know that that's out of adjustment. So when I see a gap like that, compare that to that one. So this one looks good. This one, out of adjustment. We look, both cotter pins are in place, so the slack adjuster's probably worn out and needs to be replaced. When we get to the back. Okay, we look at this brake. Again, I don't need my card to tell that that's out of adjustment. You see the gap in between the pad and the drum. That is out of adjustment. Okay, the brake condition on that one looks good. Again, we're looking at our connections, so that's probably a bad slack adjuster. We go over to the other side. What is the problem with this brake? Well, it's down to the wear indicator. We can't do anything other than replace it.